Baruch Dayan Hamet. Blessed be the judge of truth. If you have a cell phone or a pager and you're of my parents' generation, now would be a good time to make sure you turn it off or set it to stun. Because they don't know you're at this funeral and somebody's calling you. Oh, do you hear about the Maj game? I mean, you know, nobody knows you're here probably. So we know you're here. Baruch Dayan Hamet. We begin with Psalm 121. Esai enai el ha'arim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai oseh shamayim va'aretz. Al yiten lamot raglecha, al yanum shomrecha. Hine lo yanum velo yishan shomer Yisrael. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha al yad yaminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka ve'arech balayla. Adonai yishmarcha mikol nafshecha. Adonai yishmar tzeitcha v'uecha me'ata va'ad olam. I lift up mine eyes unto the mountains, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your guardian. He is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all harm. He will guard your soul, your going and your coming, now and forever. Death has taken our beloved Sophia, our dear Sophie Brick. Friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence there is lamentation. In their tears there is loneliness. Lost in their sorrow, may they find the presence of loving friends. Hear them, O God, and be with them. For Sophie's love that united so many people in life, so many people, and which cannot be severed. Death cannot sever this. For her companionship that was shared along life's path and which continues through the tenderness of memory. For the gifts of her heart and mind that brought joy and brought happiness and is now a precious remembrance. For all of these and more, we give our thanks to God. It is a time of profound grief, and we listen once again to the voice of our sacred scriptures. It brings us the ever-new message of God's nearness. It tells us of our kinship with the Creator, in light as in darkness, in joy as in sorrow, in life as in death. Together let us recite in the English the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It's a privilege to call forward daughter Jessica and grandson Jacob to speak words of eulogy and condolence. Oh, Jacob, you will come first.
So, if I do break down, bear with me. I have to go off script here because me and my dad would always joke about Sophie knowing everybody, and apparently it's true. Half of Ohio is here. Just goes to show what a woman she was. My grandmother truly was an incredible woman. While there are legitimately hundreds, if not thousands, of stories I could tell today, I decided to pick one that stood out to me. This story did not stand out because it was action-packed or because it was filled with drama, but rather because it showed who my grandmother really was, who Sophie was. First, some context. I live in New Jersey, aka the Turnpike of America. Thanks, guys. My family makes trips to Ohio frequently, and even more so when I was younger, so we could visit all the family and friends my dad has up here. Whenever we would visit, we would always stay at my grandmother's house in the guest room, which, if you don't know, is right next to the living room, where my grandmother watched one of her favorite shows, Law & Order SVU, religiously when she wasn't cooking. At the time, I was 7 or 8, had a bedtime around 8 or 9 o'clock, something my sister nor I agreed with, but it was what it was. Especially because we both wanted to stay up late with our grandma watching her show and cuddling on the oddly comfortable couch that had many stains on it. One night, the clock struck 9 p.m. and it was time for bed. My mom and dad tried to put us to bed, but we were too energetic as we were on vacation with our grandmother. And grandpa. With our grandmother. Until finally, the boss of the house, referred to as Sophia Brick, said in a stern voice, "Listen to your parents and go to bed. I'm not happy with you." Being scared shitless, me and my sister obeyed, going to the guest room, shutting the light, and getting into bed with our parents and going to sleep. However, I had a plan. Once everyone was asleep, I slowly crawled out of bed, put my ear on the door, and could hear the TV playing in the living room. So I opened the door, slowly peering my head out, expecting to be yelled at by my grandmother for not being asleep, but nothing happened. Grandma just patted the couch next to her and said, "Hello, my handsome grandson," with a giant grin on her face. I jumped on the couch next to her and got the best cuddles in the world. She would make us snacks, and we'd watch Law & Order SVU. Keep in mind, I was 7 years old. She thought this was appropriate. We watched Law & Order SVU until 1 or 2 a.m. Again, 7 years old. So, Mom and Dad, that's why I was always so tired when we visited Ohio. I had movie night with Grandma. So this story, while seeming very simple, just goes to show who Sophie Brick was. She was a person who loved to love. While she did have to be stern to please my parents at times, she loved to spoil us with her attention and love, and she did this with everyone she met. And it seemed like she knew everyone, and again, turns out it was true. Almost every night I would sneak out and we would watch TV together, and she would make me feel like I was the most loved person in the world. Grandma, I hope they have Law & Order SVU in heaven, or at least TLC. You are looking down on us now, and we will forever keep you in our memory. I love you and miss you. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me and my family, and it's just a testament to who my mom was. It's hard to speak, and it's nice to have the strength from all of you as I do, but with my mom, everything was infinite. She had a seemingly infinite number of friends, and with these friends, an uncountable number of jokes, an uncountable number of stories. These friendships were sincere, and there was truly an infinite amount of space in her heart to fit all of them. Because of all of these friendships, she was on the phone almost constantly. Really almost constantly. And as a child, I remember I found it comforting being home and just listening to her soothing voice as she talked to one friend after another, sometimes with only seconds between calls. But I remember as a kid and as a young adult thinking that sound of my mom on the phone and the sound of her voice was kind of like part of the universe, like it would be part of the world forever. The room at her table was infinite. She struggled with her health, but she couldn't not have a holiday. And when she did, she couldn't not invite friends. Those of you who dined with her know that her restaurant complaints were infinite as well. You know, that salad had a too little chicken, and this one came with chicken that was a little dry. She needed her coffee with hot water and her salad with dressing on the side. The number of restaurants that we were no longer allowed to go to because they charged her 15 cents for the side of dressing seemed infinite. The number of people that told me, "I love your mom," after just meeting her for 5 minutes at my kid's birthday party or at my school play was infinite. Her wisdom was infinite to me. It didn't matter if I was asking her how to handle my high school drama or how many plates I should get for Avi's birthday party or what to do in a squabble with Seamus. I find myself now, like, every moment of every second wanting to ask her what I should do and what I should wear and how I should put my hair. I know she would know the answer. Her love for me and for our family was infinite. I knew no matter what I was doing that she was my champion. This truly powered me through hard times. It powered me through challenging situations, and it served always as my strength. It let me love others, and it let me open my heart, and it gave me an infinite amount of love to give to my kids. Her light and her love shone so bright. It never occurred to me that it wasn't going to be there forever. Micah recently asked us, "Mommy, when will Grandma be not dead?" I think and I know that whenever someone remembers how she made them feel, how she soothed them, the laughs they had, the stories, and that unconditional love that she gave, then she is infinite. Thank you.
And to all of those words spoken as a prayer from a grandchild and a daughter, let us say Amen. It's a beautiful picture. Must have been, was this before or after she was 15? Because she was born in Israel and then moved to America when she was 15. So the sunshine, the light in her hair, you know, she shed light. It's beautiful. This morning we gather as we continue to pay our respects and we lovingly recall a woman who was beloved by virtually everyone who knew her, or even everyone who met her. Your dear Sophia Brick was an exceptional person in that regard. If you knew her, you loved her. On Monday afternoon, as Morris, David, and Jessica spoke of Sophie, they cried and they smiled at the same time. And what did I say? Somebody in my parents' generation. That's okay. She talked on the phone a lot. Did she talk on the cell phone a lot? Oh, there you go. So on Monday afternoon, as Morris and David and Jessica spoke of Sophie, they cried and they laughed and they cried and they smiled at the same time. And as they recalled their dear Harlan, son and brother, who died just last month, many things came to mind. It's a very, very tough time for this family. Here are two overarching thoughts. In the book Man's Search for Meaning, published in 1946, the year after Sophie was born, published and written by Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl addressed crucial questions that we each face around the concept of control. We know, because we say this to ourselves often, in my life there are many things I cannot control, and I know that. So what are the things I can control? Am I just passing through this life like a leaf blowing in the wind or a fallen leaf flowing down a river? Or can I control my flight and my direction and my trajectory? Can we control the trajectory of our lives? It's a very Jewish answer. Yes and no. No, you cannot control your life. However, yes, you can control how you respond to your life. Frankl brings another insight, another wisdom. He said, in Auschwitz and in every other camp, the Nazis controlled everything the Jews did. When they woke up, when they ate, when they did not eat, when they relieved themselves, where they stood, where they lined up, when they lived, and when they died. However, there was one thing the Nazis did not control. The one thing the Nazis could not control was how the Jew reacted. No matter what, the response was up entirely to the Jew. And this is a powerful insight. If people in a time like that had control, then we, in our time, should have control over our responses, verbally and emotionally and physically. Too often, our emotions get the best of us. We fool ourselves into thinking that every disagreement is a fight to the death. Every problem was just the seed of some small thing that giving time will reveal itself to be some huge life and death issue. For Sophie, she chose to respond to situations and to people by reaching out. She reached out to you. She reached out to people. It seems that she never met a stranger. She was like family to so many people. David said this on Monday, and Jessica just said it now, over and over. Over the years, friends and other people said so often, "Oh my God, I love your mom." Sophia Ickowitz was born, her name Sarah, on January 5th, 1945 in Lodz, Poland, to Mike and Helen Ickowitz. She was the middle child of three. Her older brother Mark, of blessed memory as an infant, then Sophie, and her sister Frida survives her. When she was 3 years old, the family moved to Haifa and lived there until she was 15. In 1960, the family moved here to Cleveland, and they established roots and made lifelong friendships. She went to Cleveland Heights High School, just up the street. Sophia met her husband Morris this way. Morris said, "I got out of the service, and my father was renting a room in the Ickowitz's apartment. I went to visit my dad, and I met her." And so Sophie used to say, Morris was so handsome in his uniform. She was immediately smitten, and they were married June 30th, 1963, and spent 59 years proving that they were a perfect match. Rabbi Engelberg, it was a Taylor Road Synagogue, right? Yeah, Rabbi Engelberg, from of blessed memory, from across the street many, many years ago, performed that wedding in 1963. Many have been the blessings of family for Sophie and Maury. If I leave anybody out, please correct me. Don't want to leave anybody out by accident, only on purpose. But that's, every family has that. But we don't have anybody to leave out. Harlan of blessed memory, David, David's wife Diana, Jessica, Jessica's husband Seamus. Grandchildren, Abigail, Alexander, Haley, Jacob, Hannah, Abraham, and Micah. Sophie was a Hebrew school teacher for many years at Congregation Beth Anu, where she taught with compassion and humor. She became a realtor, and she loved adopting her clients and treating them just like family. And in her case, that's a good thing. Not everybody's family, if you treat them like family, is it a good thing? In this case, it was a good thing. She was a mother or a grandmother to you. She nurtured and uplifted many, many beautiful relationships. You were welcome at her table. In life, sometimes you run out of time. So there are other notes. She didn't make people feel uncomfortable. Pesach was a big holiday for us. She used to make everything. Anything for us involved food. Everything for us involved food. She loved Thanksgiving. It involved food and getting family and loved ones together. She was not formal at all with the grandkids. All of the pictures they showed, people are leaning in and hugging her, right? And David just realized this as he was showing the pictures on Monday, the pictures on the couch. Their kids are leaning into her. The grandkids are leaning into her. What a blessing. Oh, she loved John Denver. Annie's song, which I don't remember, and You Fill Up My Senses, which I do remember. And Jessica said she sang, You Fill Up My Senses to her at the hospital. Oh. It's okay to cry. And her husband, Maury, took such good care of her. They loved each other. He was with her every moment. Maury, our condolences to you as well. There's so many people here to offer condolences to. You should console one another. It's like, it's warm outside now, but like that movie, the March of the Penguins, that 2005 documentary. You know how the Penguins survive in 100 below zero and 80 below zero and 100 mile an hour winds? They survive by creating a collective warmth, which is what you should do, what we should all do. We'd all be better off if we collected a creative warmth. Lean in when you hug, especially on the couch, and then take pictures. Those are beautiful. She died surrounded by family. It was just as Shabbat was leaving. It was Motzei Shabbat. It was Saturday night. Shabbat is an especially holy time right around Shabbat to breathe your last, because Shabbat is a time of rest and wholeness and peace. And now, for our dear Sophie, it's a time of rest and wholeness and peace. God will take care of her soul. We believe the soul goes to a time called Olam Haba, the world to come. The world to come is not a place. This is a place. We're going to Zion Cemetery. That is a place. Olam Haba is an eternal time. And you will be together with the souls of your loved ones in Olam Haba, this eternal time. You can go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. Please do. The text is, the dust returns to the earth as it was. The spirit returns to God who gave it. And so her soul returns to God, and your souls will be with hers again when your time comes. The family is allowing us to send along an old Haggadah and the casket with her, so we provide a respectful burial for holy books of our tradition, as well as the body of our dear loved one. You have many, 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 many memories of Sophie, and Sophie and Maury together. And as you think of her, try to be kinder and more thoughtful. Learn some of her recipes. Give good hugs. It's been a couple years since COVID. You might be able to hug now a little bit more. You should. But especially now, family needs your contact, and I know that many people will be there for them. And as you think of her, just do those things. Make some phone calls. Not everybody's good at making phone calls. But even if you're not good at making phone calls, the person who receives your phone call will appreciate your phone call. The person doesn't need to have you talk for 20 minutes on the phone. You can just call and say, hi, thinking of you. Okay, yeah, hope the Cavaliers win tomorrow night. Something like that. The Cavaliers are playing tonight, not tomorrow night. So be kinder and more thoughtful of others, and reach out to them and bring them into your orbit just the way Sophie did. And so we say with words, we conclude with words from the first chapter of the book of Job. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevarach. The Lord hath given, the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. May God, who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, cause peace to rain down upon us, upon our dearly departed Sophia Brick, and let us say Amen. Before we do El Maleh Rachamim, just like to let you know that we're going to be going to Zion Cemetery, and then after Zion, we're going to the Seamus's mom's house of Deborah Riley, and we'll do a couple of prayers there and gather for the Shiva meal. The family will be there until 8 o'clock tonight. The address is 1025 Wharton Park Drive. It's in Mayfield Village. So we'll be there. Family will be there until 8 o'clock tonight. And if you care to make donations in her loving memory, make them to a charity of your choice in her loving memory to help make the world a better place, as she certainly did and will continue to do. Please rise for El Maleh Rachamim. Into your care, O God, we entrust the spirit of Sophie Brick. For you keep faith with your children in death as in life. Sustain us that we may meet with serenity the mysteries that lie ahead, knowing that when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you, O God, are with us, a loving friend in whom we put our trust. You are the light of our life, our hope in eternity. El Maleh Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hametzeh Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, Im Kedoshim U'Tohorim, Kezohar HaRakia Mazhirim, Et Nishmat Sarah Bat Moshe V'Chaya, Shalcha L'Olama, Ba'al HaRachamim, Yastireha B'Seiter K'nafav Le'Olamim, Vayitzro B'Yisro HaChayim, Et Nishmata, Adonai hu nachalata, v'tanuach b'shalom al mishkava, v'nomar, Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our dear Sophia Brick. She has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in the shadow of your wings, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. As the gentlemen come forward to give us instructions for procession to the cemetery, Sophie will be on many, many Kaddish lists. She'll be on our Kaddish list to Temple Israel Ner Tamid. Our services are at 7:30. She'll be on our list for 30 days for the Shloshim period. Wednesday afternoon, kids will get reps in the Kaddish, and they'll say Kaddish for Sophie. And Sunday morning, religious school kids will get reps in the Kaddish, and they'll say Kaddish for Sophie. Cannot pray for her too much. This concludes. We'll go in procession. Go ahead. Go.
Putting on a threshold when you're leaving the building, please. You're going to bear left, keep the casket raised. Place your roller in front of you.
Folks, if you're going to the cemetery with the family, we're going to ask you to step directly to your cars